Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you the Super Nintendo process that I use, which is different than the NES one that I posted a little bit ago. I have another tool I can use called VGM Trans, which transcribes the music for you. Well, you think, well, then what is my job? Isn't it do it for me? No, it doesn't. I'll show you the pros and cons of using it. First off, I sometimes use a template depending on if VGM Trans works, how much work that's doing. First, I'll show you a little bit about the Super Nintendo sound chip. There's 8 channels. If you can see on the bottom left of the screen around here, I have this software called SNES Player, the SNES SPC700 player, and it has 8 channels that I can toggle on and off. So it's one of my favorite pieces. Monophonic. So here's your hi-hat, kick and snare. There's your bass. Nothing happening right there. Oh, okay, there's a horn. Another horn. Strings. These are all horns in here. Yeah. All right. So you can see I can isolate the channels. Now, the sounds come from different places with Super Nintendo. It's not the generic simple waveforms like on the NES. So that was from Final Fantasy 2. I know it as 2. I know it's Final Fantasy 4. So those are sounds that are unique to the game. Like here's one from Super Metroid. That synth and then 15 times there. That. And then it changes. So sometimes the sounds change throughout the file. That's why when I make my transcriptions, I just write the channel number. And sometimes I don't know what to call the sound. Like that really nasty sound there. I found a sound font when someone called it Nasty Brass. I called it like Low Reed or something. My names might just be made up. And that's okay. It's just to help me organize. Okay, here's some other cool options. Here's from Earthbound. You guys might recognize this. It's the French national anthem, but it's actually from All You Need Is Love from the Beatles. And it's a sample, and they're using different samples of it on the track. So if I play this thing, it triggers that sound. Earthbound is so ahead of its time. So what I was going to show as an example, I'm going to show good, and here's a Donkey Kong Country, which is the next one I'll do. Hear the birds. Let me turn this off for a second. Okay. That's on one of the channels, and then these are all different drums. So I'll demonstrate this VGM Trans and the issue with this that I have. So here's the Final Fantasy 4 one that I was bringing in here. This looks messy, but they're all kind of unorganized. It's mostly from Zophar's domain as well. So I bring in the SPC file, and I actually didn't have this software when I was doing my transcriptions for the first couple hundred videos on my channel. So I didn't have this the shortcut. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you are when I see this file. I'm going to just save it to my desktop to make it simple. I'm just going to open the MIDI file. And hey, it's not terrible. Well, here's the issue. There's a pickup in the beginning. So the notation software thinks that's beat 1, when most musicians know that this is beat 1, and this is the pickup of those 3/8 notes. So if I were to notate this, I would have to move everything over. These obviously should be, I already did this one, but obviously should be bass clef. And I would probably, I don't know what track this is yet, but I would probably, staccato 8th notes instead of this ugly 16th note thing. They all say a track number, which is kind of random. I don't really know what they refer to, but I think it's the patch that it was programmed on, but it doesn't really matter. So I get a lot of really good information here, and it helps me understand what's going on. So I'll show a couple others. Here's the Earthbound example, the cliff that time forgot. And look at this. This is this. So whoever coded this file is just triggering those sounds, and they're just saying it's a G. I don't know where they got that from. There's other MIDI information here. And so this isn't helpful. I don't know how I'm going to transcribe this one when I finally get to it. So the other option the odd meter one that is Super Metroid. Right? Here's the one that's in 15/8 time. Obviously, it doesn't know it doesn't even give you a time signature. I just know it's I just know it's 15/8. So I guess I did this already. You know, or 15/16. I think I put it actually. I think it's 15/16. I think so. Yeah, that looks better. I mean, it still looks terrible. So this doesn't really help me too much. And here's the other big one I already have open here. This is the Donkey Kong Country one. Look how terrible this looks. So that was the birds here. I will not notate that when I do that. I actually started it already. I'll show you guys in a second. But this is what the MIDI gives me. Some of this is readable here. I don't know what's with all the ledger lines. It just didn't get bass clef parameters. It's also a swing, so it doesn't look good. So I will instead show this is what I'm working on. All right, I'm going to change it to 4/4 when it's done. I use Sibelius's double feature. Makes the note values longer. And then I'm notating these birds. Here I just write bird sounds, and here's the tom-toms. I will probably clean this up a bit. So the MIDI file doesn't really, it helps me a little bit, but I have to clean it up still. So this is my cleaned up MIDI file so far. I mean, Sibelius file so far. I've done up to about here. I made a little note. This is the 56-second mark that I have to continue. Cool. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.